In Texas, as the new abortion law criminalizes the practice of medicine and interferes with the patient-physician relationship.
The relationship that a patient has with their physician, what goes on in that patient's room, is a sacred relationship.
Texas Medical Association Dr. Linda Villarreal says the law will normalize interference in medicine. The law bans abortions when a fetal heartbeat is detected. It also allows anyone to sue a doctor that they think is breaking the law. We have a crash on the 14 in Vasquez Rock.
This one is along the northbound side. It's coming up on Escondido Canyon Road. All lanes were blocked for a bit while they landed a medical helicopter, and it's just the same. They still will have the two right open for travel. And that's pushing a drive back from almost Agua Canyon Road. What you can do to avoid the delays here, exit at Agua Canyon, head north. That'll turn into Escondido Canyon Road. You can take that to reconnect with the 14 at Sierra Highway. We've got Will Colesider updating commerce, Kfi in the Sky, sponsored by Injury Attorney, Superwoman, Superlawyer.com.
Well, finally, some good news here in commerce. Northbound side of the 5 past Atlantic. We had a crash for a long time in the left lanes there involving a couple motorcycles. Finally, they were put up on a flatbed tow truck and taken away. So the freeway is completely open. Traffic recovering slowly. It is stopped all the way out of Santa Fe Springs on that northbound 5. Southbound, pretty typical delays for a Friday out of Burbank all the way down through the East LA interchange into Orange County. Injured in an accident, visit Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Will Colesider, Kfi in the Sky.
Goes to Mesa, the 405 northbound loads up at the 55 freeway all the way to Westminster Boulevard. Kfi in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
When Joe and I needed new windows over 20 years ago, we picked a company we thought would do a good job. We were so disappointed.
So we saw a genuine need for a company with strong character, one that people could have faith in.
American Vision Windows was born right then and there.
What sets American Vision Windows apart is easily the culture. Their greatest investment is in their employees, and it shows.
It's a great experience. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
I've been in the construction trade for 35 years. The level of quality of products that they use for their prep work was top notch.
American Vision Windows continues to revolutionize the home improvement industry, one customer at a time, while changing the lives of our employees for the better. It's so simple.
Happy employees, happy customers.
For a limited time, American Vision Windows will pay the tax. Plus, you won't need to make payments for 6 whole months. Call 888-226-9908. That's 888-226-9908. Or visit AmericanVisionWindows.com. Our free credit, not all applicants will qualify. Some restrictions apply. Call our website for details. Offer ends 10/31/2021. CSLB number 778326.
Southland weather from KFI. It's going to be hot tomorrow. Mid-70s to low 80s at the beaches. 90 to 100 for Metro LA. Low 90s to around 103 in the valleys. 90 to 95 for Inland OC. Mid-90s to around 101 in the IE. We lead local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Deborah Marks.
Hey, it's Donnie Chan. We're back with our friend, accident attorney, Sweet James Bergener. Hi, James. Great to have you on.
Hey, thank you for having me back.
Hey, as a guest, James has weighed in on all types of legal cases here on KFI. We're always telling you to call him if you've been injured in an accident because we want you to be empowered. In the legal system, the person with the best attorney wins. An accident can happen to anyone at any time. Sweet James, tell us about your client who experienced a really bad accident.
Yeah, well, she was just a passenger in a car driving with her husband. And they're driving straight, minding their own business, then it's a sudden turn right in front of them. And this happened so suddenly, our client couldn't avoid the head-on collision. All the airbags deployed, but unfortunately, our client's airbag didn't fully inflate.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, without that airbag, she was pretty injured. She needed spinal surgery, including metal rods in her neck because of the flight paralysis.
That's really tough.
Yeah, although her husband's airbag deployed and his injuries were less severe, she wasn't as fortunate. But luckily, I had to get gas cam footage and was able to obtain a settlement, which will assist her and her family with future medical bills.
Well, it seems pretty cut and dry, though. Who was at fault?
You would think so.
Yeah.
So we had several issues with the insurance company. We actually had to litigate it. Our client, mind you, was 80 years young at the time of the accident. But they pulled so many tricks and garbage moves that they ended up getting themselves into trouble. You know, I hate to say it, but this happens all the time, especially with our elderly clients. So you'd think the insurance company and hope they would do the right thing, but they just continue to disappoint.
Well, thank goodness they called Sweet James right away. This is exactly why you don't try to take on insurance companies on your own if you're hurt in an accident. You need to call Sweet James Accident Attorneys.
James, how can they contact your team?
It's easy. 800-500-5200, 800-500-5200, or even easier, just go to sweetjames.com.
And, of course, the outcome of your case cannot be guaranteed. However, with a team like Sweet James, you can be sure that you are in good hands. Thanks so much, James.
My pleasure. Always love talking to you, boys.
Live, local, iHeart radio station.
John Cobell and Ken Shanko. It's Kfi Am 640. Live everywhere on the iHeart radio app.
Well, coming up at 5:05, there's a chance once again to talk to Joe Brennan. Joe is known as the relocation coach. He used to live here in California and talk to people who decided that they wanted to take their companies elsewhere in the country. And
He relocated himself.
He didn't. I believe he's in Pennsylvania. I think he's in the Pittsburgh area, if I recall.
Yeah. Now, he's been chronicling because companies have been leaving, tons of them.
Yeah, he's part of a new study coming out of the Hoover Institute in Stanford about the numbers for 2021 of companies in the first 6 months hitting the exit door here in California. And he can give us the complete rundown from that research at 5:05. He'll be followed by the Moistline people, but right before the Moistline people, we'll give you that keyword. So you have a shot at that trip to the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Las Vegas for $1,000. So it's all straight ahead. Recently, the El Segundo Times did a story that's almost hard to believe, although not really. We were just talking about LA's problems with the homeless. So much of the city now is just so ungoverned. So much, I mean, from the simple things like the traffic and the potholes and the sidewalks crumbling and the garbage and the homeless. This was a story they did on lovely MacArthur Park, John. Remember MacArthur Park? Wasn't far from our old radio station in Koreatown.
Beautiful park, overrun with all kinds of miscreants.
Well, apparently it's completely controlled by the MS-13 gang.
That's
Mara Salvatrucha, remember them?
Oh, I really thought when I came to LA that was one of the most prettiest parks in the whole city.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure.
With that whole...
Did you go there once? Or... I remember our program director wanted us to sit in what was like an armored truck in the park one day and do the show from there.
Which is what you'd have to do if you were going to survive.
It's like an armored car.
Right, yeah, you'd have, 4 hours. You'd have to be in an armored car or you wouldn't make it out.
The impetus for the story, this is, of course, the El Segundo Times, is the fact that the MS-13 gang members, they run the park. It's the heart of their territory, and attacks on transgender people have been happening. But the story goes on to tell in detail just they basically tax everybody, even the homeless people in the park are taxed. Everybody. And the argument is, well, we don't pay much, maybe $10 a week from some people. They even go after drug dealers. Drug dealers, sex workers, street vendors.
So they're the government.
Every day must pay to be in the park.
So the MS-13 gang members are the government.
They are, right.
You know what? Next thing you're going to see, they're going to get elected to the legislature.
It's the right to be left alone from the gang. That's what you're purchasing.
Oh, that's old-fashioned extortion.
It says here
that's what
for
the
decades.
mafia used to do in New York City for decades.
They've done this. Oh, yeah, the Times calls it the shadow taxation system. Such as when 18 street gang members opened fire on a man who wouldn't pay $50 for permission to sell radios on the sidewalk. That gunfire he killed a 3-year-old baby.
Where is our government? You would think our government would supersede the MS-13 government, but I guess not, huh?
No. Obviously, they're not equipped to just clean this up. Apparently they do. Periodically, they make arrests to try to arrest like the kingpins of the gang.
We have 10,000.
To try to deflate it.
We have 10,000 cops plus all the sheriff's deputies. We can't reclaim MacArthur Park for people? Really? That's. If you want to slam your head. Of course they can do it. Of course they can do it. They don't want to.
The gang's view of the park as a financial wellspring was captured in a conversation intercepted by authorities back in 2018. An incarcerated MS-13 member dialed a man by the name of Dennis Barrera Palma, where authorities say let an MS-13 click in Mendota, which is a city in Fresno County. And apparently Barrera Palma, nicknamed Gunner, was trying to regain control of MacArthur Park because the LAPD arrested high-ranking members of the gang in 2015. And apparently he said, we need to implement some rent. So they were trying to figure out what to charge people.
So what stops the city from just sending in 1,000 cops?
And just completely cracking down.
Clearing the whole place out. Well, I mean, they probably know all these guys. I bet you a lot of these guys have records. I really don't understand this.
That is hard to believe.
Is Garcetti that much of a stooge? He doesn't even want to let the locals enjoy MacArthur Park. And the LA Times finally does a story on this, and their headline, it was about how they're going after transgenders.
Yeah, the story starts with that and eventually comes back to that, but it's about everybody getting shaken down.
Isn't that weird that that's the headline?
Well, somebody got murdered too, I think. So
yeah, I know, but it's everybody. Everybody is threatened. Everybody is being extorted.
And most of the people being extorted are also migrants. They could even probably be illegal.
You think the El Segundo Times would want to defend the migrants? You think the politicians would have wanted to defend the migrants? I mean, if it was white supremacists going after the migrants, there'd be a lot of coverage here. But it's MS-13 gang members, so there's no coverage. I don't understand. Are they afraid? Are they afraid? The politicians afraid that they're going to be in the line of fire?
They talked to one of the transgender people, Daniela Hernandez, and apparently Daniela said that yes, they do charge her like $50 to be left alone in the park. The story says the assumption is that the gang members think that they're engaging in prostitution, but she says she's just there to enjoy the park. I'm not a sex worker. Like they put a sex worker. Every Sunday evening for the next 6 months, she handed over $20, usually to a guy carrying a baseball bat or a gun. Wow.
Imagine how much money these guys have.
I would find another park.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. But she eventually had trouble making ends meet because there's a janitorial job.
Who's the idiot councilman in that district?
Who would that be? That would be, I'm not sure. They changed hands so much, and I don't remember who the councilman was.
Well, I'm going to look it up. Because they deserve a good hosing.
Oh, and eventually, this poor Daniela Hernandez got beat up. They found her kneeling in the grass covered in blood. She'd been stabbed 13 times. One of the attackers, nicknamed as El Stinky, charged with extortion attempting to murder Hernandez, and another woman attacked a week earlier.
Oh, Gil Cedillo. What do you know?
Is it really Gil Cedillo?
Yeah, Gil Cedillo. So Gil Cedillo, I don't think I've heard him say one word about MS-13 controlling MacArthur Park and charging everybody taxes. Otherwise, they'll beat you up or worse.
In any sane world, if you're a politician and a gang is completely taken over a major park in your district, you'd think that would mean something. And you'd think you'd be yelling about it and trying to make sure it's
you just get
taken
you get the police. That's what we have the police for. You get the police and you chase them out, start making arrests, and then you keep the police there for a while until MS-13 goes somewhere else. Preferably, you put them in prison. But that's against the Gascon doctrine.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with the homeless. If you tolerate it, it grows, and it gets worse.
We've gone below third world level.
I'm guessing that every now and then they clean it out, but they just come back.
I just don't know why. I don't know why Garcetti let all this happen.
Who's Garcetti?
Oh, you don't remember him?
No, is he a famous figure?
He used to be the mayor.
Oh, another Angelino?
He was an Angelino, yes.
So now he's going to be an Indio.
I don't know when he's getting out of here.
Hello, Angelinos. Nightmare yoga pants.
Can't happen soon enough. All right, we got more to come.
Bring on the next video. John and Ted Show, KFI, Deborah Mark has news.
4 people, including a former state legislator and a next city manager for the city of Industry, have been charged with allegedly taking millions of dollars in taxpayer money. President Biden has signed an executive order directing the FBI to declassify documents related to the 9/11 attacks. The NHL has reached an agreement to send players back to the Olympics to guide skip the 2018 Winter Olympics. Under the agreement, the league or players are able to withdraw if COVID-19 circumstances change for the worse, or there's a COVID outbreak during the season. The next Winter Olympics will be next year in Beijing. Back to the 14, and we will check in with the KFI in the sky next.
I want to talk to you about the Mayor's Lodge, Alpine. That's right. Where is it? The foothills of the Cuyamaca Mountains of San Diego County. It is beautiful there. We got a hiking trail to enjoy, scenic horizons. You can visit the historic gold mining town of Julian, and there is a nearby casino where you could maybe win big with a complimentary summer to and from the hotel. Also, complimentary breakfast, complimentary parking, and complimentary Wi-Fi. Book today at airsalpine.com. That's AYRES alpine.com.
Are you paying too much for auto insurance? Visit AAA.com/insurance for a free quote and find out how much you could save. Find competitive rates on auto insurance through the Auto Club. Visit AAA.com/insurance today.
Alpine weather from KFI. It's going to be hot tomorrow. We're looking at highs ranging from 90 to 103. This report brought to you by the Auto Club of Southern California. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We're going to go back to the crash on the 14 in Vasquez Rock.
It's on the northbound side, coming up on Escondido Canyon Road, where the 2 left lanes remain off limits after they had all lanes shut down for a bit while they landed a medical helicopter on the scene. Big delays here are backing up from Aguadulce Canyon Road. Let's check out Long Beach with Will Driver, KFI in the Sky, sponsored by Injury Attorney, Superwoman, Superlawyer.com.
Big delays here, northbound 710, starting at about Del Amo as you make your way up to Firestone Boulevard in Downey. That area, just very slow traffic, nothing really in lanes. Southbound side of the 710, it's jammed up from, looks like the 60 all the way down to Commerce, and that Commerce area, that earlier crash is cleared, northbound 5 past Atlantic. That's the good news, but the bad news is it's still slow out of Santa Fe Springs on the northbound side. Injured in an accident, visit Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Bill Coltreiber, KFI in the Sky.
Kurūgā on the 60 eastbound, that drive is loading up only from Valley Way as you travel ahead into Moreno Valley. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
This report is paid for by NETZ. It can happen easily. A few drinks become a few too many. It's time to go and you think of calling for a ride home. Now, what's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone, drive over, or get pulled over. A message brought to you by NETZ.
Income-eligible renters impacted by COVID-19 can now get 100% of their past-due rent and utility bills paid through the California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program. Landlords with tenants who haven't paid rent because of COVID-19 are eligible for 100% reimbursement too. The application is fast, your information is private, and you won't be asked about citizenship. Apply at housingis2.com before eviction protections end on September 30th. Brought to you by the California Department of Housing and Community Development. Now through the 6th of September during the Rendezvous Air Show, listen to all the magic of a first rendezvous.
Hey, Steve.
It's time to book your rendezvous with Paris, Bordeaux, or Nice from Los Angeles with up to $100 discount. And with Air Pulse Protect, your tickets are 100% refundable and exchangeable up until the day you fly. See terms and conditions at airpulse.com.
It's Summer of Can, and it's here, and you can do a lot more this summer than you could last year, including a can of Heineken. Yes! And that's because Heineken is made with premium malt with their famous A yeast. So go premium with the crisp, ice-cold can of Heineken. And when you have people over and they see those green cans inside your fridge, they all say, this guy's got it. That's cool. You can pick it out or have it delivered or whatever, as long as you put your can back into summer. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Please drink responsibly. It's Ford's Labor Day Sell-a-thon, and we want your trade-in. Get $3,500 trade-in cash on a Ford F-150. If your trade-in is worth $5,000, that's a total of $8,500 for your new F-150. This is your chance to trade up to Ford. So don't wait. This Labor Day sell-a-thon ends Monday.
Offer excludes renters. Before trading a discount, no trade in 1995 or new vehicle to qualify. New determines trading value. Offer valid through May 6, 2021. See dealers for When you pursue an associate degree for transfer at a California community college, you're on your way to earning your guaranteed stage spot at a 4-year university. Start on the path to success and enroll today before classes fill up at GoToCollege.com.
Owning a business comes with pressure. There's a limit to what I can do and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They've got 30-plus years of HR experience to work to help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance, while giving my employees competitive benefit options. And because I'm able to focus on other priorities, my employees can thrive and my business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
It's the word mattress stores can't stop shouting every Labor Day holiday. Sale! Sale!
Right, Dad, but what could have been the lowest price on the wrong mattress?
So this Labor Day, come to Camry, where our exclusive BedMatch technology scientifically matches you for just the right mattress.
Save 50% on select mattresses, and with your good credit, pay 0% financing for 36 months.
So this Labor Day, don't settle for a low price on the wrong mattress.
Trust your sleep to Kitten Sleep.
This is this week's Ride Report, brought to you by Huntington Beach and Riverside Harley Davidson. SoCal's got a great forecast this week, and it's the perfect time to enjoy it on your Harley Davidson. Learn more at hbharley.com. That's hbharley.com.
I'm ready to get my COVID-19 vaccine, Mom. Oh, really, baby? I want to be sure they're safe. I'm worried they will develop too quickly. Hey, I'm way ahead of you. Doctors and pediatricians say it's safe and effective for kids 12 and up. The vaccine is based on technology that's like 20 years old. And there are clinical trials with kids, just like me. Okay.
Since you're such an expert now, you can help make an appointment. Visit myturn.ca.gov to schedule a vaccine appointment. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Well, hey, how are you today? Leo reporter, your new tech guy. This weekend, we'll be talking high-tech. September, you know what that means? New iPhones are coming in a couple of weeks. We could talk about the news of what Apple may announce, including the weirdest one, that they might be able to use low Earth orbit satellites for phone calls. We'll also answer your tech questions. Tech, it's constantly amusing, isn't it? Join me this weekend and every weekend. Leo Report, the tech guy. Leo Report, tomorrow morning at 11. Kfi Am, more stimulating talk.
Everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Nice. We're right there at the 5 o'clock hour of Friday. Makes 2 rounds of the Moist Run. Chance to win that trip to the iHeartRadio Music Festival with a keyword. Let's start, though, by talking to Joe Granich, the relocation coach who has the latest from Tiffany in California. Quite an uptick just in the first 6 months of this year. We'll get to all of that in the 5 o'clock hour. Well, here's one of these, for what it's worth, stories, because I believe the numbers are probably even worse. The U.S. government cannot reach 1 in 3 released migrant kids. They have lost contact. Now, again, when the kids are detained at the border, the rules are you can't hold them for that long. That was the judge's ruling years ago. So what they do is they're supposed to release them to sponsors of some kind. These are, I guess, family members or others in the U.S. who will take custody of the minor. But the idea is, of course, to stay in touch with the government and eventually show up for hearings and everything else that's involved when you are in the country illegally. Well, roughly 1 in 3 calls made to release migrant kids or their sponsors between January and May, what do you know, went unanswered. This is what Trump would talk about constantly when he was president. I remember saying this at the debate. We got this policy with asylum and with migrant children that, oh, we'll just release them into the U.S. and give them a court date. And of course, we'll do the right thing. Well, no, they don't do the right thing.
And they know that. And
because you don't have any other enforcement,
the Biden
to commit a crime.
Yeah, the Biden side knows this. They want they'll give them amnesty, and then they become, hopefully, Democratic voters.
That's the idea.
And they also want to
because I've given up on trying to explain it otherwise.
No,
This could be an issue next year, though, when people vote.
It could be. But in the meantime, look how many hundreds of thousands of immigrants they got in.
It's smart to do it like his first week in office, to let all this go, because people might forget by next year when they vote for Congress.
I'm so easily emotionally manipulated. You know, much of the anger about Trump was his personality, which was abrasive and obnoxious to a lot of people. But his policies made them work. Policies got obscured by the personality. People got more animated, angry over his tweets, and not grateful enough for his border policies that were a huge success.
So that was common sense.
Yeah. And remember, this crowd in the Biden administration, they want to change the makeup of America. They want to change the cultural makeup of America. That's one of their goals.
Because they think they'll win that way, right?
Right. That's what being progressive is about. Is to repudiate the origin of America and invite the rest of the world into it. Because we have no right to be wealthy. We have no right to be exclusive. We have no right to have borders. We have no right to have a system that carefully screens who comes in. We have no right to that. There shouldn't be borders. We shouldn't have to that. And so it's a very socialist scheme. If you talk to some of these people, you look at the magazines that they read and the writers and the philosophers that provide, the intellectual energy, they really go very passionately and at length as to the immorality of having a border. And that's the crowd that's in charge now. And now that half this stuff 30 years ago Biden would never go for, but he is so compromised intellectually and cognitively that in fact, I read today that they refer to his chief of staff, and the guy's name is Ron Klain. You ever heard of Ron Klain?
No, I heard his name when Biden took office. I don't remember him from years.
He's been an Obama Clinton aide over the years. Klain, K-L-A-I-N. Inside, they call him Mr. President.
Oh, God.
Yeah, maybe there's 100 people in on that joke, but why is that the joke? Well, it's very real. If you listen, we played 2 minutes with Joe Biden trying to remember his daughter's wedding. Now you know why we have a president who's practically anonymous in this country.
So, and get this, reports are popping up again that some of the migrant children were released from labor traffickers.
Yeah.
Because, you know what? Oh, yeah, I'll be a sponsor. Give me some kids. And then they're putting them in sex trafficking, or I guess they're using them to do cheap.
And again, the Biden side knows this, and they don't care.
Apparently back in 2014, when Obama was president, a bunch of teens had to work on an egg farm.
I remember that, yeah. They found the kids on the egg farm in Ohio.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
That's kind of scary. I'll send the cheap labor. I'm going to go down to the border and claim sponsorship with some migrant kids and have them grab eggs for me. All right, when we come back, we'll be talking to Joe Biden. Joe knows all about companies leaving California as part of a brand new report on just how much it jumped in the first 6 months of 2021.
It's stunning. And, but we'll get to him. He'll explain all this. John and Ken Show, Deborah Marquez, Kfi Am 640.
If you find yourself agreeing with everything we say, we're doing it wrong. KOST HD2.
Los Angeles and China.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
New homeless rule. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Limits are now in effect on where homeless people can camp in L.A.
They're now no longer allowed to camp on many of the sidewalks in L.A., as well as areas like loading docks, building entrances, and streets open to traffic. Councilmember Joe Buscaino expects LAPD will immediately begin educating those now in violation of the new rule.
Arrest, as we know, will be the last resort, will only be made as the last resort.
The council can now establish no camping zones around various sensitive use areas.
Like schools, daycare centers, parks, libraries, and homeless shelters.
Like Joey KFI News.
The families of 2 women killed in a DUI crash in Irvine will have to wait to hear the sentence for the driver convicted of murder.
Prosecutors say Norman Martin was going 138 miles an hour in a convertible Corvette when it slammed into 3 palm trees. The two women who were stuck in the two-seater in 2017 were thrown from the car and killed at the scene. Martin represented himself during the trial and at times hinted at an insanity plea. Then moments before sentencing, Martin asked for and was granted an attorney, delaying the process. The prosecutor told the judge this is an unimaginable gut punch to the family who thought the nightmare could finally be over. A family spokeswoman says it's terrible, but the family will patiently wait for justice. At the OC Superior Court, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
The shirtless guy seen at the U.S. Capitol during the riot in January wearing face paint and a furry hat with horns is pleaded guilty to a federal felony charge.
The charge was obstruction of an official proceeding, the most serious charge. His 5 other charges will be dismissed as part of his agreement.
ABC's Ike Johnson says the obstruction charge carries a maximum sentence of up to 20 years in prison. David Sanford came to be known as the QAnon shaman. The lawyer says Sanford no longer wants to be associated with the QAnon movement. President Biden is on the tour of the damage done by what was Hurricane Ida in part of Louisiana. He met today with leaders in New Orleans and says government agencies are working together to get food and water to people and to get power and utilities restored. He also talked about private insurance companies.
Reports suggest that some insurance companies may deny coverage for living assistance unless the homeowner is under a mandatory evacuation order.
He says no one who left their home ahead of the storm was looking for a vacation or a road trip.
Pay what you owe your customers. Cover temporary housing costs and natural disasters. And help those in need.
He says everyone should be helping now. A federal judge in San Diego has ruled the government's practice of denying immigrants a chance to apply for asylum until space opens up to process claims is unconstitutional. The ruling has no immediate impact but could prevent the government from limiting entry to those asking for asylum. Uber and Lyft have pledged to pay the legal fees of any driver sued under the new law in Texas restricting access to an abortion. ABC's Michelle Franzen says the law allows civilians, not the state, to enforce the law and collect a reward for reporting anyone, including doctors, relatives, and drivers, who take women to an abortion clinic.
Lyft announced they would cover costs of any legal fees for drivers sued under the new law. The company's CEO called the law, quote, an attack on women's access to health care and their right to choose.
Uber says drivers should not be put at risk for getting people where they want to go. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We have a crash on the 405 in Irvine.
This one's on the southbound side at Culver. That's where the two right lanes are blocked. They're going to be there at least half an hour, if not longer. And that means we're going to see a really slow drive here. Watch out for delays getting away from, looks like just about Jamboree. So watch out, it's going to slow down a bit. The northbound side backing up, leaving the 133 freeway. Well, let's head out to Will Kohlschreiber, KFI in the Sky, sponsored by Injury Attorney, Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. He's got Hollywood.
Northbound side of the 101, it is slow, getting away from Santa Boulevard as you creep and crawl your way into the valley. Once you get to the Hollywood Strip where it meets the 170, 134, things look pretty good. Now, southbound side, Hollywood Boulevard all the way down into downtown Los Angeles, in through the East LA interchange. And if you continue south on that 5, it is pretty ugly. It is slow and go all the way down to almost the 91 freeway on that southbound 5. Injured in an accident, visit Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Will Kohlschreiber, KFI in the Sky.
KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Lisa Martinez.
Hot weekend ahead. We'll talk about that next.
Looking for your next investment? Want to cash out of stock market risk and volatility? Here are 8 reasons to consider NRIA's proven real estate development fund. Monthly cash flow payouts of 10% annualized and bonuses to 21% target. We strategically locate in lower risk, high demand areas people are moving to. New construction is short on supply. Real estate affords diversification and safety from stock market risk and volatility. We have substantial